Hello and welcome. My screen name is Cobra Muffin, and this is going to be a submission video for Hyperlight Drifter No Major Glitches. In this speed game, the leaderboard comes down to two different approaches to the game. One of them is going to be no major glitches, and then the other one is going to be glitched categories, which involves a lot of really cool out-of-bounds movement and whatnot. However, because there's a disparity between input method, no major glitches is the most popular category because there's a bindable function that allows controller users to be able to go out of bounds in certain ways that keyboard and mouse players, it's actually impossible because they don't have that available. And so because of that, that causes controller runners to always save about 3 to 4 minutes over keyboard and mouse runners in like a 30-minute category. So because of that, no major glitches is the most popular and most competitive leaderboard. No, not that save. This one. Alright, here we go. Boom. So in Hyperlight Drifter, the movement's really going to come down to dashing. And so, right in the beginning, we only have access to slow dash, which means that I can dash in groupings of 3 before having to wait for a small cooldown in order to start dashing again. However, in certain areas, there are ledges, and if you dash up to a ledge and end up not falling off of it because of a pushback from that ledge, with good distance and whatnot, you can actually reset your dash count back to 1, as you saw me do there. And so because of that, that actually ends up allowing us to extend the chain even further than 3 dashes before having to wait for that cooldown. Whoops! And so there I was trying to dash right before I collected the pistol. And then boom, I was able to shoot a pistol shot and then dash immediately. Because the pistol actually does not action lock me like the sword does. Because after I sword slash, there is a small cooldown period before I can do any other action. And so because of that, we can actually fire the pistol right before we swing our sword. And if we do that, that ends up stacking the damage of the 2 different attack types and allows me to do 2 damage an attack instead of just the normal 1 from doing a sword slash or a single pistol shot. So that's really cool. And that being said, of course, that does not work in the reverse because the sword slash has you action locked for longer. Awesome. So upcoming here is going to be one of the few cutscenes that we actually end up having to watch in the run, and this is just going to teleport us to the house and allow us to progress with the run. Awesome. So throughout the run, if you've never played this game through casually, this is really like an exploration-based game where we're traveling around picking up these little golden squares, which are known as bits, and then collecting purple modules. The golden squares are used to form pieces of currency. So once we pick up 4 bits, that forms a piece of currency, and that's going to allow us to buy really cool upgrades, do really insane stuff throughout the game. However, for the speedrun itself, the only one that ends up saving the amount of time that it takes to collect those pieces of currency is going to end up being Chain Dash, which is a modified version of Dash, which is going to allow me to spend stamina, and if I use certain inputs at a very specific cadence, I can go faster. Here we go. Here's a nice little map that shows us that in each of the 4 cardinal directions, we need to collect 4 of these purple triangles, which are known as modules. Then after defeating the big boss, we'll end up activating a pylon, and once we do that for all the 4 directions, it gets us access to the final area of the game, where the final boss is lying in wait. Anyways, for routing, we're going to decide to go north first. We could actually choose west or east as well, but north has the shortest bit routing and saves the least amount of time from getting Chain Dash. So coming here is going to be a really cool skip, where I'm going to skip doing that arena by setting myself up and dashing at a really precise angle. That ends up saving only like a second or a second and a half, instead of just plinking down those dirks and waiting for the barricade to come down. But I'm just really comfortable with the trick, so not a problem. So there we go, there's our first little golden bit as so close. Try to skip another cough cutscene, but there you go, so you see that is the cough cutscene that I'm trying to skip as many of those throughout the run. But yeah, so we have our first bit, and so we're going to need to collect 11 more of those as I progress through north. And that being said, I've already actually skipped some bit locations, but the reason for this is because it's actually quicker to pick up a very specific list of bits at certain locations. And so that was like a really fun routing aspect for me when I picked up the run. I actually changed the bit routing just a little bit, and that ended up saving me about like 5 to 8 seconds overall. Nice. So here I'm trying to dash on the first moment that I've controlled the drifter. And then if I mash dash here as well, yes, nice, I got a dash reset there. So instead of only being able to do 2 dashes there, I was able to do 3 more. And that gets me that 1 extra dash there, which is actually a lot more crucial than it might appear. Because up here in a sequence of 2 dashes, I'm able to set up for a dash reset right there and get over to that section a little bit quicker. And that saves a little bit of time. And then there's another dash reset as we head down this staircase to grab our first purple module. Nice. Pretty good north so far. Pretty good. Whoop. Yeah, so there it is. So after I collect 4 of those, there's going to be a cutscene that plays, but we're actually going to end up being able to skip that cutscene, and we'll talk about that a little bit later on. So coming here as I dash through, here are some wolves. These wolves, nice, give me really like a bunch of different patterns there. But luckily I got a really nice pattern, so I didn't have to delay my dashing as well, and I was able to get through in the shortest period of time. So coming here, I'm going to shoot a pistol shot like that over to the right, and that's going to aggro that bird over. My hope here, yep, is that bird is going to end up jumping over as he jumps back to the right, and bait him over here. If he does this, I'm actually able to kill off the last 2 birds a little bit quicker, but it looks like they're giving me a bad pattern, so I'm going to have to like hunt them down. So let's see where they are exactly. Oh my god, they're all over the place. Alright, so get that one. And nice, the one that was holding the bit was close to the exit, so that's good. Nice, and I'm at 4 health, which is really good. So a lot of optimizing this game, and what helps me save a lot of time, is going to be my routing of medkits. So because I have full health here, I'm actually going to skip picking up this medkit right there. Because healing and picking up a medkit ends up wasting about 1.5 to 2 seconds. And so because of that, I'm going to try and not pick up as many medkits as I can avoid through the run. Oh. So here I'm on 2 health, so if I get shot by any of those blue birds, I actually end up dying instantaneously. And so because I'm a little low on ammo, I'm going to kill that guy. But all these enemies in this arena are spawning in very specific locations. So just like with that last one, I knew he was going to be over there, and that was the last enemy, so I ended up heading over, and then pistol shooting to be able to get my maximum distance in the shortest period of time. Nicely done. That was a pretty clean arena. I just messed up some of my plinks, and so my ammo got a little wonky. That was still really great. Nice. So coming here, we're going to collect a bit before heading down an elevator in order to go into a section that has 2 modules. However, because we've actually already picked up 1 purple module for this area, I only need 2 more to get through a door that unlocks once I get 3 modules. So because of this, even though there's 2 purple modules in here, I'm only going to go halfway through before teleporting back out. Nice. Cool. So there we go, another little bit activating to collect that bit the moment I destroy that box is going to ultimately save me a little bit of time in each case. So here I'm going to try and take an intentional damage, which refreshes my dash instantaneously for heading into this arena. So there, that guy gave me a little bit of trouble, so I'm just going to dash back, get the rifleman, and then get that last bird on the way back out. Nice. And that gets us access to this module. So a nice little exploit in this game, which we do not consider a major glitch, is going to be still being able to interact with my map while I'm in the process of collecting this module. Because of this, while this cutscene for the module collection is playing out, I'm able to teleport out immediately after that finishes. Nice. So upcoming here, this is going to be the 3rd module that we're going to collect here, 3 of 4. And that's going to get me access to the 3 module door. And yeah, it's like right there, like right next to the waypoint. Boop. Yeah, nice little dash reset. So here I'm going to try and dash on the first moment I have control. Nice, I got it. So I'm going to get 3 quickness dismounts from all these ledges. Oh, that one actually gave me a little bit of pushback, so I must have messed up my dash sequence somewhere along that. Probably my like distance was just a tiny bit off from one of the ledges. But that was nice because you can sort of see 2 different dismount speeds by manipulating sort of my position and how quickly I'm dashing in certain areas, as well as how I'm going to be moving into ledges. You either get the ledge pushback, which gets you a slower dismount by about half a second, or you can get a fast dismount. And those fast dismounts, as you might imagine, add up throughout the entire run. Nice. So there I'm taking an intentional damage to reset my dash chain once again. That gets me a little bit further, a little bit faster. So here we go. This arena can be a little bit scary because there are lots of things that deal 2 damage with me. Aggroing over that bird. Oh, now he's running away! Get back here! You can't escape your fate. It's going to allow me to ultimately do that arena a little bit faster. So there we go. This is the 4th and final module I'm going to be collecting in North. And then doing a quick quit and reload. So after the game saves for me, I do a quit and reload there in order to skip a really long and loud cutscene. And that happens at the end of every single one of those 4th modules. However, another alternative is that I could teleport out instead. But upcoming here is going to be North Boss. And this is probably going to be the scariest part of the entire run for me. Because I don't have Chain Dash, and I only have the pistol. Alright, so let's focus. It's going to summon a bunch of 2 damage platforms that's going to be chasing me around. So, my goal here is to get off as many pistol shots as I can while manipulating these pathways around. And it looks like I have good RNG here. It's going to summon some extra attacks before teleporting back to the middle. Yeah. And so now that it's in the middle, I'm trying to get it to look back and forth in different directions. Oh no, it had 1 health. That's okay, before teleporting back to the bottom left. So there I ended up taking a safety health, which ended up losing me time, but only being on 1 HP as the birds are summoned, as you can imagine, can be quite a little bit scarier. But that was still pretty good for a North boss fight. Getting it that quickly is pretty good, but definitely in my PB I got a lot better. So this is a recent bit of routing that I actually found a couple of days ago. It costs me about just over 4 seconds to collect that laser rifle. And normally we would have skipped that for the past couple of years that this category has been alive. But I found out certain arenas are a little bit quicker with this laser rifle, and so because of that, I'm going to be able to save about 8 to 9 seconds throughout the entire speedrun. But boom, we finished North, and we are going to be heading on, collecting Chain Dash, and then heading to the east side. Whoop. Nice. So now we have Chain Dash. You're going to notice a bar in the top left corner of your screen, which is going to signify stamina. So here I'm dashing in groupings of 2 because the first dash of a dash chain never costs stamina. However, if I do dash sequences, I'm going to collect this actually. Dash sequences of 3 or more, you can imagine that would cost me more stamina. So a lot of routing in this area is going to come down to how low can I get this stamina meter and still be able to chain dash through sections. So like there, I was doing sequences a little bit longer, and my stamina meter was almost at 0. Run out of stamina, I have to revert back to slow dashing. And as you imagine, by its name, slow dashing is pretty slow. Yeah, there we go, nice. Yeah, so there you actually have to wait a little bit before you can activate this elevator, so just walking down to optimally move it. And so, when you do dashes of 4 or more, oh boy, a little bit of lag there, that's okay. You end up doing a slide at the end of it. However, if I go into a cough cutscene like I did there, that actually cancels out the slide for me and allows me to be able to do full chain dash sequences without being action locked in that slide animation. But boom, there we go, our first module. For East, we have to collect 3 more before heading back out. So as you get further and further in a chain dash sequence, you can actually activate it sooner. But if I try and activate it too soon, that ends up failing the chain dash. But here's a cool chain. I just had a slight misstep, and so because of that, I'm going to end up losing that. So there, what you ended up seeing is that I did a bonk animation. So when you do chain dashes of groupings of 3 or more and then run into a wall, you actually get stunned for that duration, and that slows down. But boom, look at that beautiful stamina management. Gonna be very close to 0, but still getting in every single possible chain dash that I could. And so a lot of routing is just like sort of recognizing how much stamina you have, and then being able to improvise on the spot. But here we go, this is gonna be a really cool arena followed up by some really difficult movement. So because I have flinks, I'm going to be able to kill off these big guys with 3 attacks instead of 6. So normally in a glitched category, we could skip this, but instead I'm going to have to do some really difficult movement to try and get past all these guys. Nicely done. getting past there without taking any more damage is really, really awesome. That's a really scary movement section. And because of this, of like not being able to go out of bounds in certain sections, is going to cause me to have to do a lot more of these throughout the entire speedrun. Yes. Upcoming here is going to be the first arena where actually using the laser is going to save me a bit of time. So I'm going to pop over here, get this guy, kill this first big guy, take out the laser to shoot that deuterino, and then after I kill this big guy, oh boy, there's going to be, oh no, I fell off, a laser section where I can kill them off really fast, just like that. But that's okay. There's a safety med kit I can grab. And there we go, that is going to be the last guy. Oh, I just barely missed it. So you can actually buffer a dash input through that section in order to get out of there a little bit quicker. But boom, there we go, it's a safety medkit as I use that key that I collected earlier in the run. So in this room, this can actually be really scary. Oh boy. Because there are going to be lots of these torches, and then lots of enemies that can actually hit me. And if they hit me mid-dash, I actually end up getting kicked off the ledge and taking 2 damage instead of just the one that they're doing. And that damage adds up really fast. But that was really great. Collecting the 3 module pretty quickly is really, really nice. So there we go. Oh, yeah, looks like I'm just barely going to be able to eke out. Nicely done. That was a really good torch room. I'm really happy with that. Oh no, I fell off! Nice. And so they're like really aiming my my chain dash sequences with that chain of 3, just barely ending right before the door, so I can still activate it, but I don't bonk in the door. Because if I accidentally did a chain dash sequence of 3 and dashed into the wall, that would have stunned me and caused me to have to wait a second and a half before I was able to activate that door. Yeah. Boom. Here we go. Here's a bit of story that's really cool in the run, and we're just going to be skipping over it. But this run has some really beautiful art and animations in it that I highly suggest looking at if you've never played through this game casually. Boom. So here, this is an optional place where I could heal if I felt the need to, but just being on 4 health, I'm really comfortable with getting through the next upcoming arenas, no problem. Oh, I just got a little stuck there on the bush. So there, I accidentally just misaligned one of my laser shots, so I couldn't get the double kill. The guy ended up walking upwards, and so I had less time to do that. Nice. That was a good dash chain. So here's another arena where I'm going to line up 2 guys with the laser, and that's going to end up saving me a little bit of time. Nicely done. So here, this is another place where I can heal without losing any time, and so I'm going to do that, because being on 2 health in these sections ends up being really scary. Oh no, I went for some really difficult and silly movement that's not required in order to try and get a faster activation, and I got punished, man. Nicely done. Alright. Alright, so activating the switch is going to allow me to revisit this area where I was just at, and it's going to cause me to have another arena. Confined mouse cursor, please. Here we go. Okay. Woo! Confined mouse cursor is on now. I was like, wait, why am I not shooting the guy? And now I just completely messed up my last split. And there we go. Awesome. So upcoming here is going to be... Oh no, I missed it! So there you can actually skip the cutscene, but I just had the wrong weapon out. That's okay. That just happens, man. And so, because of that, I actually just ended up losing 8 seconds. Having to watch that cutscene. But this boss is nice. Just literally standing in a spot, and he gets action locked into doing this one type of melee attack, and it just so happens that we are barely out of range from getting hit by that. Nice. Cool. So that was a pretty good East overall. That was nice. I didn't take a death, and so that's really, really good. I'm short on a safety med kit, so I'm trying to think of a place where I can grab one. That's okay. Anyways, upcoming here, we're going to be picking up the most powerful weapon in the entire game, which is going to be this, like, sawed-off shotgun, as you saw there. So this shotgun ends up dealing 3 damage per shot. Excuse me, oh my goodness, no it doesn't. It deals 5 damage per shot, and then when I combine that with a blink from the pistol, that's going to be 6, and then combining that into a blink is going to get me a little bit of ammo back, with the pistol ends up costing 1 ammo, whereas the shotgun ends up costing about 2 to 3 ammo per attack. So the shotgun's a little bit less ammo efficient. However, it's going to allow me to do damage a little bit quicker to bosses. So even though I'll run out of ammo a little bit faster, it's going to allow me to kill the bosses faster. So there's this like really beautiful, like synergistic combination of how can I spend and regain my ammo in the quickest possible fashion to be able to kill these bosses before they can kill me. Alright, nice. Good, and just barely running out of stamina as I reach this elevator. Notice how the stamina is regenerating, and then it's going to end up regenerating as I collect this first module in the west region. There we go, 1 down, 3 to go. Oh, yes. Boom. Nicely done. So upcoming here is going to be some of the most difficult movement in the run, actually, because these pink tree hitboxes are not as they appear. There's lots of little tiny invisible ledges. So even though I dashed really far to the right there, that was actually really, really important I did that. So here, I'm going to start mashing for a slow dash chain, because that's going to allow my stamina to come back up a little bit. And it's going to allow me to get past these dogs a little bit quicker. Yeah, and so there, as you saw, my stamina just barely ran out. So just doing those slow dashes in time is going to allow me to just barely get enough stamina to be able to finish out that section. Really nicely done. So here I'm going to dash to the left in order to skip a cough cutscene and then pick up a nice medkit. Here's a really insane arena skip where I'm going to be standing in a very, very particular spot, and that's going to allow me to get through that arena. And that's just because the literal hitbox for the transition zone is peeking out there. So that's actually not considered a glitch, it's just considered part of the game instead. Or a major glitch, excuse me. Nice, alright, and so coming through here is going to be another arena skip where I'm going to dash in a really specific spot, and that's going to cause the palisade wall to lower and allow me to get through. And here you'll notice that I am just really, really low on stamina, and really pushing that number down as much as I can. Nicely done. So upcoming in here, ammo management ends up being very, very important as I'm traveling through. I'm actually going to use the shotgun once to get through those 2 crystals. Oh, I just barely missed that dash. So that's a little bit of a risky dash. But attacking objects, such as these boxes, is going to get me ammo back. So in those locations that don't end up causing me time, I can get through. Nice! So there is a really difficult dash that allows me to take a slightly shorter path, and that was something that I just saw someone do recently, which is a really, really awesome find in the community. And that only saves like barely any time, like less than a second, but really, really nice to get that first try. Nice. And so there, like optimizing what dash chains I'm going to do. I know to do pairs of dashes up until the final whittle chain in order to be able to get through that section really fast. So a little bit of unfortunate RNG from those wolves. It's really nice if they end up committing Sudoku by themselves into those crystals. But this is a really cool bit of routing. In glitched categories, you don't actually see them pick up this module. However, a runner by the name of Isex, actually, after I like improved my recce by a bit, was like, oh, by the way, I think this might save 10 seconds to grab this module. And this was really nice because it reduced a lot of RNG in difficult arenas that we would have to end up getting through in places where we have a high probability of taking lots of damage. So major shoutouts to Isex. It really improved the state of the speedrun by quite a lot. Oh no, we got hit by the crystal spiders. So there they were giving me a little bit of grief. And so now I have the interesting decision of whether or not I'm going to end up taking a safety health. And I think I will actually end up doing that. Yep, there we go. Okay, so upcoming here is going to be one of the more insane dash chains in the run. I'm going to go for it, so I'm going to focus. Oh no, I missed it. Oh yeah, and so there the game just auto-corrected my dash for me. And even though my mouse cursor was horizontal to left, it caused me to dash down into the left. And there are just like certain sections where the game will do that for you. Nice. And here's another Pink Drifter cutscene. So I ended up not taking the safety health, so I'm going to come over here and grab this one, and then do a chain of slow dashes there to make sure my stamina is at its maximum. Nice. And then 1 chain of 2. Oh, I got stuck! Oh no! Yeah, so that can just happen. You can't actually dash through enemies. So a really cool aspect of this game in general is that the dash is not a dodge. But upcoming here is going to be West Boss. I'm going to try for a really difficult manipulation. Oh no, I don't think I got it. I did not. Alright, so I have to fight this boss, normal. Okay. So here what I'm doing is I'm actually swapping weapons in order to take the shotgun off of cooldown. Because normally the shotgun actually has a cooldown associated with it. And so that was a pretty sloppy fight on my regard. I just missed my manipulation and wasn't able to improvise well enough. But that's okay. That was really good. Like, just being able to get through these boss fights without taking a death for a marathon is, like, definitely a feat in its own. And there's, like, some really awesome categories known as Boss Rush in it, where we, like, really push the limit on a lot of those strats. But here we go. We have one more module to grab, which is going to be guarded by a bunch of dogs. And this one can be a little bit spooky. So here we go. I'm going to go through. A bunch of dogs are going to be spawning all over the place. Yep. Yeah, okay. Oh no, so that last one got through? Okay. Yeah, and so those dogs could just be a huge pain, and so that was a little bit unfortunate. I think, like, in my PB, I just went for it. I didn't end up, like, killing any extra dogs. I just killed off the 3 required, and I went for it, and I just barely was able to get the module on time. Nice. With that being said, we have 3 out of the 4 cardinal directions finished, and now we only have 1 more. And so here's a really cool, long chain dash sequence that I just had a tiny little misstep, and so I ended up falling. And that's like a really cool aspect of this run, is that a lot of the movement is really optimized to such a high degree. And boom, nice. That one was really tricky. I had a very low amount of distance that I could change my dash effectively. And look at that nice low stamina as I'm getting to this elevator. Nicely done. Nice. Nice, dude. Cool. So South is like a notorious run killer, and it's right at the end of the run. And it's very, very scary. So, like, upcoming here, I cannot make a single mistake. Otherwise, I will end up losing a ton of time. A single death in the next area is also going to lose me a ton of time. So this arena is going to be very important. So I'm going to focus using the laser to kill off groupings of enemies as I can. So there, the laser wasn't quite off cooldown, so I might have to kill an extra wave. No, I was still able to do it. Nice, that's so good. That's so good. So there I actually skipped a wave spawning. Okay, I'm gonna wait for this block and then go behind it as a backup. No! Oh my god! Holy crap, if I had taken a death there, that would have been so bad. Alright, we're okay. Just breathe. Oh, shot steal damage. Okay. My mouse cursor is still not confined. Alright, and we get through there. So I'm on 1 health, so this is gonna be a little bit spooky. Alright, so here's the next boss fight. I cannot take a single hit here, otherwise I'm going to take a death. But so far, just getting through that section was really good. Nice, and I was able to take down the boss. I accidentally shot the shotgun into a bunch of little minions that spawned, and so I ended up losing a ton of ammo. But if I was able to instead sword slash through those, I would have gotten a lot more ammo back. But I was able to improvise and end up getting through that boss fight without too much trouble. Oh, thank God that movement section is over. That is like, that section is like so manga-esque, so we're going to end up like hyping that up so much for the overall run itself. Awesome. Alright, so now that that section is over, we're just going to be able to relax a little bit. This movement is a lot more forgiving, and there's a lot less scary things that can instantly kill you, like pressure blocks and whatnot. Just a couple arenas to be able to get through really fast. Nice. Cool. Alright, so here I'm actually going to, oh no. End up switching back to the pistol. Oh, menu management's hard. Alright, there we go. Cool. So upcoming here, that rocket trooper can like shoot you and knock you off, and it's really sad bad, but we're able to dodge the rocket in time. And then upcoming here is going to be, yep, some nice tight movement. Oh, I just barely missed collecting that module. If you do a full chain dash sequence there and just slide out of that into that corner, it actually saves a little bit of time because the walk distance back to the module ends up not taking too much. Awesome. So upcoming here, I'm just going to destroy these barrels. Looks like I don't need the safety med kit, which is really awesome. And then we're going to progress through. So here, I only have half ammo on my pistol, and so I'm going to recharge that by just doing 2 sword slashes there on those guys. Next, upcoming here is going to be a nice little sequence break, where I'm going to be dashing onto an invisible floor that you were not able to see there. And then killing off these Dirks, because if I take, like, any damage there during that, they end up interrupting that. And nice, that was a really cool arena, where I just shot the shotgun and explode some barrels and, like, ends up killing almost all the enemies. With good RNG, you can actually end up killing that last Dirk as well, but that was still really good. So, boom, I was able to get through that sequence and pick up my 3rd module before progressing towards Archer. Awesome. So boom, there we go, able to open the door before those guys were able to hit me. Nice. Cool. Alright, so upcoming here's a really difficult dash. Oh, and I just barely missed it. So we're gonna line up and try it again. It's another one. Alright, and I got over there 3rd try. Nicely done. Cool. So Archer is gonna be the last really scary boss, and then the run like really tapers downwards in difficulty after this. So I'm gonna focus. Yeah, that was good. Oh, I missed the shotgun shot. Yes, and I was able to one-cycle her. Nicely done. Nice, 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 nice. So, Archer is going to end up, like, aiming in a certain direction, and then I try to walk around that in order to get her to intentionally miss. And there, I only took 2 damage in that fight out of, like, 5 attack volleys, and so that's really, really good. Yes. Nice. That was good. I'm really happy. If I get an Archer fight like that at GDQ, I'm going to be absolutely pumped. Awesome. So, upcoming here, we now have collected the final pylon of the run. We only have 1 more module, and then it's just the dash challenge. And so, like, as a new runner, I remember being like, oh no, I have to do the dash challenge now, and it's, like, really easy to take a misstep, but hopefully I'm comfortable enough with chain dash after running this game for a while that I'm going to be able to get through no problem. So here it is, the dash challenge. So I'm going to try and also heal to cancel out the slide and be able to get that module a little bit quicker. Nicely done. Ooh, that was a little scary. So there, I made a slight misstep with my menuing and almost failed that. If I had failed that, I would have had to watch a cutscene, a really loud and lengthy cutscene, and then my teleport would have not gone off. But nice. Alright, sick. So, 1 more boss to go, and this is going to be the final boss. Oh, yes. So the final boss for a casual playthrough is like really manga-esque, because there's like lots of high damage and high octane like bullet hells and like stuff like that, and like huge lasers that sweep through the entire map. But you're not going to end up seeing any of that. And the reason is just because with shotgun plinking and then swapping back and forth between weapons just pulls the shotgun off of cooldown. So very easy for us to be able to take down the boss fast. But here we go. I'm going to try for a cutscene skip. Ah, I just barely missed it. So there I just barely didn't walk enough. But you can actually dash over that. So coming down these stairs, it just really comes down to, can I do 3 dashes and not bonk on something? In order to do a slightly quicker movement, or do I do 2 dashes in order to get around corners a little bit quicker? Oh, I almost got that cutscene skip too. Just a little bit off. Nice. And so there, I'm opting not to do a full chain because this really weird bug can happen where you get like flung off the screen if you're like sliding while activating it, and that ends up losing you about 7 to 8 seconds, and it like lags the game incredibly. But here we go. The final boss before we're going to start to meander down to end the run. But this was a pretty good run overall. There we go. Whoops. So, an interesting thing is, like, because of the lag of the boss, you sort of have to be ready with, like, seeing where your weapon swapping actually is. And so there I ran out of ammo, so throwing in some extra sword slashes in order to take him down. But here we go, one more phase. I'm just gonna dodge that. Nice! And we got him. GG. Cool. So this is gonna be a pretty high 34. Which is an okay time for me. I would have liked to have a little bit of a lower time, but this is going to be coming in like just over 1 minute of my PB in a 34-minute run. And so like all those parts where I was like, oh yeah, this was complete spaghetti, right? It's like, it's complete spaghetti for me because I've optimized this game and put in a lot of work into this. So really excited to be able to submit this. Hyperlight Drifter has had a really great showing at GDQ so far, and it would be really awesome to be able to showcase the most popular and most run category. But here we go, timing's gonna be coming up when I end up putting my hand on the final wall before listening to some awesome music. So I love this because it's like really dramatic because the music cuts out and you're like, oh my god, did I actually get a PB? And time, 34:53. GG. Anyways, major shoutouts to the rest of the community. I'm going to be submitting some other Hyperlight Drifter stuff for sure, but this is just a really great starting point, and I am really happy to be able to display this. GG. Oh yes, I just love this music, dude.